Currenti, and I am here tonight to present to you my paper for Management 515 class on the research and analysis of how parents view public high school education. Education has a significant impact on a child's future successes in life. Therefore, parents must make informed decisions when selecting a school, whether public or private, for their student to attend once they reach the age of high school. This topic brings many different experiences, it brings different points of view, and it can be a highly charged conversation when you get into it with different parents on their views on this topic. Well, recognizing that there are a large range of different types of public high schools, I decided to take a look at how parents who actually have children in these schools view the school in relation to academic standards, social integration, as well as college readiness. All three of these areas impact the experience a child has in high school and beyond. I found the research and results quite positive, and even those who had doubts about public education in retrospect had some positive experiences. It is important for parents to make decisions based upon facts and experience rather than on unfounded information. I hope this type of research can be a starting point for parents to understand the need to base their opinions and decisions on reliable and significant data. The research objective for my paper is, after gathering all the research and evaluating the results, to determine if students in public high school are able to integrate the academic and social aspects of their learning to be ready and successful in college. The three constructs I will examine and used for this paper were academic standards, social integration, and college readiness. The methodology that I used is listed here on my PowerPoint slide that I printed, and I sampled a group of 40 participants. They took the survey from me. Most of them were parents of kids that I do know. However, in my collection of data, I tried to find parents who were whose students attended different high schools, so we would have a different perspective rather than having them all from one school. Each participant was given a survey to complete via hard copy or through an email attachment. Parents from different high schools were asked to participate in order to obtain different views, and no incentives were offered for completing the survey. The research design was devised of a hard copy, and the data was recorded by the participant. The researcher then, that was me, compiled all the results. The survey had a total of 20 questions, including 15 questions applying to the constructs, 5 questions for each construct, and 5 demographic questions. The Likert scale was used to create the survey, and the choices were strongly agree, somewhat disagree, and strongly disagree. There were no neutral options available. The demographic questions that were asked at the end of the survey, because they tend to be easier to answer and therefore meant that the more valuable data that had more thought involved would be at the beginning of the survey. For the data analysis, once I obtained all the survey results, the responses were coded and entered into the SPSS software. For me, this was the most difficult part of the process. I coded the data incorrectly at first and had to go back and recode the data, but the results I got were more accurate because I did that. Number values were given to each multiple choice to answer as follows, and one was strongly disagree all the way down to 6, which was strongly agree. I had a few limitations in my survey. The first limitation was the method of distribution. The survey was distributed mostly to my friends and family. So therefore the sample group was somewhat limited, and it was not as widespread as I would have liked it to be. A second limitation to my survey was related to the personal demographics. The majority of my responders were female, and this is due to the fact that most of the people I know are female. So therefore, they were given the surveys. However, I did seek out more males in order to have a better representation of that gender in my surveys. And a third limitation was my sample size. I was only able to obtain 40 surveys. I sent out requests to 50 people. I got 40 back, which I thought was pretty good, but I would have liked to have had a larger sample size. Another limitation is the majority of my responses, 70%, were from students or parents of students who attended the same high school. So they all have that same view of school rather than finding more people from different high schools in order to get a different view. And the final limitation of my survey involved recoding. I recoded some of the demographic results in order to have a larger sample size in each group. I had to recode the age, I had to recode ethnicity, and I had to recode number of children in the household. I did this in order to get a minimum of 10 responses from each group. So the next part of my paper was the key findings and discussions. And there was a few findings that I found were very interesting. One of them was the area with the strongest positive data was the overall construct that students build strong social groups and skills. And this is the bar graph for that construct. And basically it tells me that the social integration at this public high schools that these children attended were very strong and important to the parents and family. The area that scored the highest ratings was the area of extracurricular activities. This had the highest mean of all the questions, and it had 100% positive answers. Therefore, nobody rated this area as negative. So the parents did feel that their children were able to participate in a wide range of extracurricular activities that could benefit them in whatever they were interested in doing, whether it be sports, drama, speech, debate, music. So there was a wide range that are available to students, which enhanced their high school experience. And the area with the lowest ratings was regarding college readiness, and it was the area where students are guided to select right fit colleges. And this question was related to a counseling area where the counselors are supposed to be meeting with students regularly to help them select colleges that would benefit them in their goals, their interests, and so forth. And the parents felt that this is the weakest area of the school and that is not being done to their satisfaction. So this area was rated the lowest. It had the lowest mean of everything that we surveyed. And a little bit about the correlations. There were some correlations that were found, and we analyzed those. Well, I analyzed those. And one of them is that the more they rated the importance of high academic standards, the more they rated that they built social groups and skills, and vice versa. Along with that was the more they rated the importance of high academic standards, the more they rated that students are prepared for college, and vice versa. And finally, the more they rated the importance of building social groups and skills, the more they rated that students are prepared for college, and vice versa. It's probably hard to read this chart, but it is in my paper, and it does talk about the correlations and how all the pieces of high school experience do fit together in order for a student to be successful and be ready for college. So that was an interesting correlation I found, and I agree with it actually, that students that feel successful will be successful. Finally, the last area to discuss was regression, and this does, here's my chart for that, although it's probably hard to read, that the more the students are held to high academic standards, the more the students are prepared for college. So that was the finding in this area. Finally, in response to the survey, I felt that many parents had positive results, and I was happy to see that. My recommendations are pretty short. Basically, I wanted to discredit the perception that public high schools cannot provide quality education and that they should also market their strengths. Well, my time is up, and I want to thank you for watching the presentation, and I hope you learned something about public high schools.